Triple H Show. Obviously, there haven't been many uploads in the past month, so let's take a few to thank Samsung for their amazing generosity at pretty much destroying a whole month of my videos. So, thank you, Samsung. Anyways, to begin, Biden's first month as President of the United States. Honestly, Biden had a pretty low bar to start from. When Trump was leaving office, there was the whole Capitol issue, there was impeachment, and COVID cases were skyrocketing. And then when Biden came over, it was suddenly more calm. So it makes this illusion that things are suddenly drastically improving. For instance, COVID deaths. Recently, we've passed 500,000 deaths from COVID. And when you actually start to take a look at deaths and cases, people say, oh, Biden's doing much better. When you actually take a look at the statistics, the decline of this massive spike which we've seen of new cases and new deaths started a few days before Trump left office. So it wasn't exactly something that Biden did. It was simply just over time, you have spikes and the spikes fall. But people are misusing that to push and promote Biden and his campaign and his administration. But obviously, when you look at it, it's clear the whole trend started before Biden even came to office. It started a week before that. So it's obviously not caused by Biden. And another thing is, ever since Biden has come to office last month, he has deported almost 30,000 immigrants back to their countries. And he promised for the first 100 days, he wouldn't deport anyone. But he deported almost 30,000 migrants back to their countries. I mean, obviously it's not so shocking because, people keep on complaining about these cages and this inhumane treatment of migrants. But when you look at it, it was Obama and Biden who built the cages in 2014. It's actually a true fact. In 2014, Biden and Obama were the ones who developed this whole cage system at the border. So you can thank the two of them instead of Trump because Trump was the one who inherited it. He made it worse, but they were the ones who actually started it. And it's just people at this point are trying to promote Biden in every way, comparing him to Trump. Trump did a lot of bad. His COVID response was pathetic. It was really pathetic. But Biden hasn't really even done much. And Biden has pretty much just broken almost every single promise he's made. Deport 0 migrants, but instead he ends up deporting almost 30,000 in the first month. It just shows you the weakness of politics. And then you have the whole Cuomo situation, where he pretty much pulled off at China, and he hid the case numbers, and he hid the case deaths. He claimed that it was with good intentions and to prevent panic and so on. But that was China's excuse. China hid this deadly virus for the first 2 months. COVID came out in November of 2019. And that's just what people know. Who knows how far before that it came. They hid it for almost 3 months. And look at what it became now. When you hide stuff like this, it always comes out and it makes it even worse. What Cuomo did was absolutely wrong. It was completely wrong. You should never hide anything like that. Anyways, we're going to be having a guest today. His name is Curtis from The Lovely Curtis Show. And we're going to be having a slight discussion. We have Curtis over here on the show.
Hello.
Okay, so Curtis, to begin. Under Biden, COVID cases have declined significantly. Do you think that's caused by Biden, or was it something Trump did before he left office?
Personally, I've really just taken a little bit of a dunk out of politics for these past few weeks, but now I've gotten back into it. Mm-hmm. So, but I'm gonna go with Biden because Trump's policy with COVID has been bad, at least if you compare it to, deaths. Mm-hmm. He was more with the economy instead of keeping people safe.
What I just discussed though was that the trend was showing that the COVID cases were declining about a week before Trump left. Do you think that might be because Biden was entering office, so there was more pressure from Biden?
Well, I'm gonna say it's either like a last-ditch attempt by Trump. I wasn't really paying attention for those weeks. Yeah, I would say it's either a last-ditch effort for something, like maybe trying before, the Supreme Court or something, before he gets inaugurated to get some public support.
Makes sense, because, the Capitol was a disaster. He had to do something to redeem himself. Is there, anything right now that's severely concerning you? That's, going on right now?
Right now, there's not really much besides some of the really, personally as a conservative, some of the fairly woke stuff I've seen going around, like, you know.
There was the Rush Limbaugh. People said really horrible stuff about him.
And then also I've been watching Ben Shapiro a lot. I've seen him talking about how certain companies have been posting this these kind of things where it's like whiteness and all this, and calling all white people racist, stuff like that.
Yeah, everyone knows Twitter took down Trump's account.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump delivered false information, but on Twitter there's so many people who deliver much worse.
I personally, my thoughts on that is that I think they're just censoring him, because I've seen like Antifa and some other, you know, lefties saying that, I don't know if this is an exact quote, but I remember seeing something along the lines of, peaceful protest is nice, but violence can be necessary from the left, not from the right, but from the left.
Yeah, violence is never right.
Yeah, no, violence is never a good thing. We should have violent protests.
We can both acknowledge that Trump was still at fault, but there was still bias.
Yeah, he was at fault for a lot of different things, but I think that, yes, it was a little bit biased on the decision, and I think it's a little bit harsh for him to be, you know, banned for that.
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know, I think it did come down a lot to politics instead of what they were saying, because we've seen a lot of leftists saying bad things.
Anyways, thank you for joining us, Curtis.
Alright, you're welcome.
Okay, so everybody, that's Curtis.
Bye-bye.
Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next one. Peace.